Hey everybody, I think we're streaming live. I think we're all good. Okay, so I'm in my office. It's Christmas break. If you're watching this, it is December 28th, 2023, December 29th, 2023. I'm like, what day is it? Um, Nothing's telling me the day. Okay, Friday, December 29th. It's December 29th. And I've got my daughter home from college, and I am really excited to be here. It has been a hot minute since I have been able to teach in this group because of awesome family plans, trying to get my screens where I can see all of you and your comments, plus myself, plus my notes. It's like a little circus we do every time we get to teach in here. Thank you, Cherie, for telling me that I was live and that I'm here and that everybody is. If you're on live, please say hello. By the way, say hello. Stacy's here. So good. All right. So my name is Robin Whitworth. I am the creator of the Elevated Mother community, CEO of the Elevated Mother Experience and the Solid Ground Mastermind. Latia's here too. This is so good. Kristen's here. So, you guys, I posted this week, happy anniversary to me, 21 years. And I'm not even going to say 21 years of bliss because I'm a truth speaker. And I've learned about that word bliss. I'm like, oh, Christy Garcia's here. And it's been 21 years of growth. That's what is true. 21 years of growth. And I posted that I was going to teach a class on strategic reflection for strategic progression. Okay? That came out of me when I was typing, and I'm like, that is so good. That is so good. Anyone love that? So good. Because it's true. It is so true. So let me tell you. Let me tell you how it has been. Oh, first of all, shout out to the team. Shout out to Cherie Carlisle, Missy Reber, and Heather Shoemaker, who, when I'm out on family vacation in the Caribbean, they are running this group. They are helping people come in. They are doing one-on-one coaching and group sessions in our programs, all the things. So grateful for them. So grateful for them. If you know a member of the team, send them a little heart or whatever, however you do that in the chat. You can see Cherie came on. My team is incredible, and it's just only going to grow. I'm excited for those of you that are going to be here 2024 for all the things that we have in store to serve you so well. But let's talk about strategic reflection can equal strategic progression, because here's what's happening to me. Let me know in the chat if this has ever happened to you, where there's this cycle that happens in your life where you're like, okay, I'm making this goal. I have got to make this happen. Could be a weight loss goal, could be a business goal, it could be keeping your house clean goal, it could be more connection with your spouse goal, it might be less yelling with the kids, it might be more meaningful time with each child, it might be like, beautiful, Latia. Thanks for that. It's awesome. It might be your personal talents. Like, okay, this is the year that I'm going to go sign up for that rec volleyball team and get back into this. I love it. Maybe this is the year I'm going to learn to surf. Maybe this is the year I'm going to learn how to make sushi at home. Maybe this is finally the year I'm going to learn how to relax. Anyone? That was a goal of mine. I struggled to learn how to have real R&R. Some people might be like, that's weird. I didn't grow up with modeling of R&R. I grew up in a culture and a family generationally on both sides that laying back was a deserved situation. You had to work so hard that you deserved to sit and do nothing because you were so burned out, exhausted, sore, whatever, from some, superhuman effort. That was the culture I grew up in. Like, really. And so to actually understand that rest and relaxation is actually essential to my human happiness, health, and progression, how it was a huge thing of mine. It was like, whoa. Anyway, so you might have all these different goal areas. Like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And you have hope. This year's going to be different. I'm going to do it. I'm going to manage my money better. I'm going to save $10,000 this year, whatever it is. And so you have this hope. Hope is the first step of this cycle. It's a round cycle. If you've been here, you know it. Hope is the first cycle. Then you take action. You go online and you buy those workout DVDs. You go get the money management app. You go, get that planner that's just going to help you organize your life so good. And you go and you start walking 2 miles a day and you tell your whole neighborhood on the neighborhood Facebook page that you're walking. Anybody's welcome. And you start taking some action. You plan out 3 dates, whatever it is, right? You take action on something. And then the next step in this cycle is frustration. The kids get sick for a week. The date doesn't happen. 7,000 copays have to be made. The money's gone. You're tired. You're exhausted. You don't work out anymore. Someone in the family passes away. You all have to travel to the funeral, right? Life happens. And if you're a mom, that usually involves children and spouses and whatever, like something happens and you're frustrated. Is anyone feeling this cycle? You had the hope, you took action, frustration happens. Life happens. Anybody? Am I alone in this? and as you're coming out of this frustration, or you're in it, you start to find little distractions. I'm already really good at cleaning my baseboards. So instead of jumping back into my workout program, I'm probably just going to clean these baseboards because I've been sitting with my kids sick all week on the couch and I can see it needs to be done. Yeah, that's a more noble goal. Or I'm so tired and burned out from that whole sickness. We're going out to dinner this whole week. I'm not cooking. All of a sudden, you don't stick to your budget. These are little shiny distractions that are easy to do, and we start doing them. So we had hope, we took action, we got frustrated, we started having these distractions. And then all of a sudden, it's been 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, and we're like, I have not made any progress on this money goal. I have not made any progress on my weight loss goal. I haven't taken one date with my husband. I am failing. That's how we felt 6 months ago. We're in the same spot. I'm not doing this well. I can't do it. I'm frustrated, blah, 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 etc., 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 etc. And then we see this really inspiring post on Facebook, or we see this poster in the grocery store corkboard that says, have you fallen off your goals? Come back to the gym. Come back to our money clinic. Come back to our marriage clinic. And you get hope again, and you take action, and then okay, anybody? I love this. Yes, you guys, Kristen, Latia, Christy, Stacy. Okay, this is a cycle. This is a cycle. And I'm going to tell you one of the biggest reasons is lack of reflection. You didn't sit down and say, what happened this month? What happened this month? You don't give yourself time because we're so worried about spending time on noble things. We don't see ourselves as the noble thing. Number one, if you're taking notes, what's my opinion of myself right now? If you want a good reflection, you're going to start with that question. What's my opinion of myself right now? What's going on in my life? What do I think about me? Each month, if you're in the Elevated Mother Experience program, every month we have a monthly reflection that we do, because when you have a strategic reflection, you can then have a strategic progression, and you can actually see yourself moving beyond the cycle. I promise 7,000 times. And so if you want to see progress in money, relationships, marriage, yourself, right? Personal development. If you want to see consistent development, progress, you get to have consistent reflection. Because if I had in my past self that was going through this cycle a lot, it's very exhausting. If I had sat down and said, yes, Therese, yes, 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 yes. If I had sat down and said, what's going on within? What do I think about this? And here's your two questions. These are the magical questions. You don't even have to be in our program, but they're in the book. When you get in the program, you'll see it. What do I want to see more of on one side? What do I want to see less of on the other? If that's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, you put a line down the middle and you do this every month. Get out your phone and say, all right, calendar, on the last Friday of every month, I will give myself 2 hours of self-reflection to see what's going on. Do you know how many hours are in a month? I don't. Anybody? To give yourself 2 hours in a month to sit with yourself and reflect on what's going well. What do I want more of? What do I love? What's not going so well that I would love to see less of? This isn't a judgment sesh. It's just looking at the facts. What did I love this month? You know, I loved when we took the kids out to that thing and I was present. I loved that. I would like more presence. In fact, let's put a few more events with the kids on the calendar. You know, what do I want to see less of? I was really emotionally activated that day after the baseball game. We all went out for fast food, but then we were all bloated and sick. I actually don't want to do that. I would like to work on probably creating a Pinterest board of fast meals that I can just have those ingredients on hand. Do you see how it's not a judgment of I sucked, I shouldn't have eaten out so much, now we wasted money? We go, oh, what do I want to see less of? Interesting. And then all of a sudden you have a plan. All of a sudden, the next month, you know, I need to get on Pinterest to make that board. Oh, what a fun way to sit and look at Pinterest for an hour. You just gave yourself, you know what I mean? It's so fun. Life becomes so fun and light when we start having strategic progression. Then all of a sudden, when you're sitting on your phone creating that Pinterest board of quick family meals, you're not wasting time and there's no mom guilt. You look back at your reflection, you're like, this is essential. This is essential. Maybe you need to get on Instagram and search up fast meal mamas or something. I don't know what you're going to search, but there's a million people that put out simple meal ideas in 15 minutes. That's how I found all mine. I'm not some amazing mastermind of cooking. I gave myself permission to go on Instagram and find 3 people to follow for a month that said this thing. And again, if you're in the Elevated Mother Experience program, we have all of this laid out where you write this down and it's your plan. But that comes from strategic reflection. So at this year end, I would love all of you to do that column and say, what did I do in 2023 that I just loved so very much? Give your brain and body the evidence of what you loved this year. If you need to get on your phone and open the photos and go month by month and be like, what did we do? Look at your calendar. What was on your calendar in January? What did you love? Give yourself the gift of reflection and saying, oh, yeah, we went snowing on the sled hill with grandma and grandpa that day. That was so fun. Write it out, relive it, feel it month by month. What did I love this year? And then do the same. You know, what do I want to see less of? What happened? What happened here? In whatever areas are really important to you. The things I often look at is my money, because I know that that is an energy expenditure and receptive thing. I like to see how that's flowing. I learned years ago that I had an issue with money and my mindset and my management ideas and like my worthiness stuff. So tracking my money year to year has been something really good for me. It's been very, very good. I also try look at my marriage and I say, okay, what happened this year in my connection with my spouse that I loved so much? What would I like to see less of? What do I want to work on? What's something, you know, that I really, really would love to either stop doing completely, phase out, or something that I would really, I want to see less of this thing. Where can I shift? That helps me know what personal development books to pick up, what podcasts I get to start looking at. And I look at myself. What was my opinion of myself here? How did I behave? What do I look like? Am I proud of this? Because this is for your notes. You cannot outperform your self-perception. So if you're stuck in this cycle, it's because somewhere you don't perceive yourself as someone that gets back on the workout wagon no matter how long it's been. You perceive yourself as someone that can't handle a stressful night after baseball, and so you don't go home and make bean burritos. You don't perceive yourself with the capability, the possibility doing that. That's why you don't do it. So with strategic reflection, we start to form a different identity about ourselves, so that then when we strategically progress, we're changing our self-perception. That way I can actually behave differently, and it doesn't feel extra and it doesn't feel exhausting. It becomes who I am. Right? One little thing I want to add here. If you want to do a search, go do a Google search. What does God say about growth, mindset, progression? And you will get, I did that search this morning. God, if it's not a he to you, that's okay. Source, whatever it is. If you're Christian in this group, likely God is God to you, an actual being of sorts, right? Could be the father of your spirit. There's lots of different ways in Christianity people say that. In the Bible, he to me, it's a he's my father in heaven, says in multiple, like there's thousands of results that come up, right? Progress, growth, all these things. He wants us to learn. He wants us to change. How many times did Jesus say in the New Testament to become a new creature, to be reborn? That is progress. That is change. This is a biblical idea that we get to progress. What's so interesting too is if you go into the Hebrew translations of characters, when they talk about hell or damnation or any of that stuff, it means to be stopped. Can you imagine? That's why this cycle is so rude. It feels wrong. It's like, there are people that quite literally live in hell in their life, in this mortal experience, because they never progress. They live in this cycle. And if you've been in it, you have felt it. And Jesus and God both proclaimed, taught all of these things. That is where our joy is found, when we're changing, when we're progressing. And so we're like, no wonder when I'm stagnant and feeling like I'm in the same spot, that feels so, because our soul knows it. It's like, we don't want to do that. That's not what we're here for. That's not even what I'm built for. Everything around us, our very bodies, nature speaks of this progressive nature. That's heaven. We choose heaven or hell. We choose it by our actions. So God talks about progress like crazy, 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 crazy. You go do a Google search and you'll find so much evidence. He wants us to grow. He wants us to change. Always. The purpose of this life is progress and change. But until we reflect and actually go, oh, this is what's happening, like get it on paper, we don't see it. We live the same life over and over and over. Groundhog Day. Is that not its own version of hell, right? It's the cycle. Can you imagine never progressing? If you had to just literally sit here and do nothing different, nothing, you could never see a different sunrise. You were never going to climb that mountain. You were never going to make that new food. You're never going to have that experience. You're never, like, you're just stuck. Till what? Till you die and then you're still stuck? No way. Like, so horrible, right? What are you guys' thoughts on this? Who's ready to progress? Right? I love that Teresa's like, I'm working on it. I'm working on this. Changing my self-perception. So a strategic reflection gives you the choice to have strategic progression. So what you're going to do is get out a piece of paper, or if you're in the program, you're going to go and start scheduling in the monthly reflections. I guarantee, I can promise 1,000,000,000%, this will change your life. It will change your money. It will change your marriage. It will change yourself. When you gift yourself that time to sit in reflection on a monthly basis, and for sure on a yearly basis, that's why I'm doing this class at the end of the year. And Kristen, that's normal, right? It's a roller coaster. Some months she's on fire, some months feels like in a slump. Be consciously aware, though, if you do these reflections, you will get out of the slumps quicker, number one, because you'll see it. You'll have a plan. When you see the reflection here on, what do I want to see more of? This is so good. And, what do I want to see less of? Your brain is designed to solve issues. So once you ask the brain a quality question, you are going to put out more quality answers. Always. That's why I show my clients this. This is in our workbook now, this all the time. You're going to go up and down and up and down. But what's true is when you go down into the slump of learning, you are not going backwards ever. You're never back on the wagon. You're never back at the beginning. You're never on step one or square one or whatever. Everything has happened like this. So it's actually moving forward, whatever dot it is a forward moving. And if you are doing reflections and learning, then the only way it can be is up. You are becoming more, learning more. Okay? Stacy says, I realize I have a self-perception of not taking care of me. Ooh. Yes. So good. So every step on the way, whether you're in a slump or on fire, start perceiving, Kristen. Every one of those was forward. And through reflection, we learn why. Well, how could that have been forward? How was that weekend I sat on the couch? Whatever a slump is for Kristen, I don't know. But a slump for me would be like having a pity party for myself for a long time and sinking into thoughts of I'm not worth this, or I don't know what I'm talking about. That's for me. But it's like when I was there, what was the emotional benefit there, right? Like what did I want to see more of? What did I think was going to be beneficial there? What do I want to see less of? Because pity parties can be really essential. And R&R could be essential. Maybe I actually needed to lay in bed for a few days and I just didn't give myself grace or understanding or compassion. Right? So now I know over the years of doing regular reflection, when I have to have a nap, I've had 3 naps this week so far. And I'm just like, let it come. My body feels tired. I'm going to lay in my bed and I'm going to love it. And I wake up and I love it. It's so fun. And there's none of this mom guilt and what am I doing? And I shoulda. No shitting on myself anymore. Right? Kristen, yes. Releasing all the judgment during reflection. This is just the facts. You say, oh, this is what happened. Interesting. But now I know what I get to do moving forward. Reflection is so, so, so powerful. So powerful. I remember having a client years ago that was struggling with money. She thought eating healthy was expensive and da-da. We had her track her food money, just food money. She tracked everything she spent on something that went between her teeth. Food. She tracked every gum, candy bar, convenience store soda. She tracked every time they went out to eat. She tracked her groceries. She tracked it for 1 month and was blown away when we came together and reflected on what she saw in her data. She came to find that she was spending $600 a month outside of groceries and like in her food. $600 on little stops, stays, running through the drive-through at baseball, like little purchases that in her mind were little purchases, was $600 a month. And she was still going grocery shopping and making dinner. And she was like, what is this? What is this about? We were able to look at that and say, what's the emotional benefit to this? What's been going on here? And she started to find patterns of, what? Every time me and my husband weren't getting along was when I went and got that 44-ounce whatever with that candy bar. I think I need to work on my marriage. And then she's like, you know what? Every time I went and did that thing, it's not a bad thing. She was just like, wow, that's a pattern. Every time my mom comes into town, we eat out that whole week. What's that about? I'm worried about judgment from my mom with how I manage my kitchen. I need to work on that relationship. She discovered so many things by tracking her money and reflecting on it and being like, what do I want to see more of? What do I get to see less of? She's like, you know what? But I love going to Chuck E. Cheese's with all the nieces and nephews. And I said, great, we want to see more of that. So you get to put in your budget, family event, eat out budget. There's no judgment there. We just have it. Then when you go and drop $150 on taking your nieces and nephews out for pizza, there's no guilt about I shouldn't do this because it's in your budget. Do you guys see how this is magic? This is magic for gaining peace, joy, contentment, awesomeness in your life. When you start getting clear on what you want and you start planning for what you want, all of a sudden you're on the road to progression all the time. And it's not about living in this cycle of I'm a failure and I can't do it and frustrations. You just go, oh, of course I want to go out to dinner and do this. Of course I want to do that thing. I will now put it in my budget. You know what? We're going to now put marriage counseling in our budget because clearly we're both not communicating well and I have no idea what to do about that. Or I'm going to go read a book about marriage communication. I'm going to start listening to that calm parenting podcast or that, whatever it is. I'm going to give myself a week this week and I'm going to schedule in an hour to go look on Instagram to follow people that talk about communication with my mother. Like, there are so many resources, you guys, so many resources. But do you see how a good reflection shows you where to go? When people say, I don't know how to start, I don't know where to begin. If you have a good reflection that says, I want to see more of this and I'd like to see less of this and reflect on why, all of a sudden, you've got a great, beautiful path that is aligned to you. And you just live there. It's beautiful because the reflection offers an elevated perception of yourself. You start going, oh, I see now that I get to be more understanding with my spouse. Oh, I have this compulsive idea about this, or you start to shift your self-perception, which thereby you can shift how you're behaving in life. It's so awesome. It is so awesome. Yes, Missy, the system of the elevator mother works. What do you know? Right? I put together this whole thing in a book, in a workbook, and we have coaching sessions and one-on-one sessions where we guide you through this. We can pinpoint, we as in me and my team, we are experts in this. We've been doing this for a while. We can see when a client has gotten into the frustration or the distraction, whatever part they're in. We're like, okay, let's reflect on this. Let's see it. Let's get you a plan moving forward. And you get to have support through the whole thing. Maybe you don't need that. That's okay. Do the reflection work every month. Gift yourself. Let's do the math. If there's 24 hours in a day times an average of 30, there's 720 hours in a month. You can gift yourself to do this work. Get on your phone right now and schedule in a monthly reflective period. Maybe it's only 1 hour. Maybe you only need 1 hour to do this. But I'm guessing the first few times you're going to sit there and think about it and scroll on your phone. And you know what I mean? It's going to take a minute. Gift yourself that time with no judgment. 2 hours over an entire year. That's 24 hours. Ooh, You've given yourself one day, one day to reflect and strategically project your life. Because God has promised that that is where our joy and peace and contentment is found when we finish the mission which we are here for. And this is how you figure it out. Be perfect even as I am, right? Finish the job you came here to do that only you can do. Doing a monthly reflection in this way makes your life progression personal. It helps you shift your self-perception so that you can behave differently. Okay? That's all I got this morning. Any questions? Any thoughts? I've been doing this for 8 years since I've learned about reflection. And in the last 2 years, I've learned to do it even better from certain mentors that I've had. I can testify personally, and we've had people in the chat that have been in the program, they can testify, like, this work is not baloney. This is not fluff. This is not a what if and maybe. This is the real deal. If you want to shift your life, this is one of the pieces to do it. Every mentor I've ever had, every great book talks about this. How did they even know to write a book? How do they know what to say in their book? When they say, oh, in this year I did this thing. Oh, well, I used to think this way. The only way they know that is because they did a reflection. Right? This is a universal principle. Why did God have people write down things in scripture? Why were people inspired to keep scripture something that, how many people died getting the Bible translated to English so that the common man could read it? Like, it's so important that God has preserved his scriptures for thousands of years. Thousands of years. The scrolls from Moses are like, what, is it 8,000 years old or something? Like, this is incredible. Of all the things that have happened on this earth, once God has made himself known, he has preserved his word. I find that to be completely a testimony of the importance of this thing and the existence of a God. It's so cool. It is so cool to do this. He has preserved all of this stuff as a reflection of what has happened through history so we can learn from it. If anyone's a history teacher on here, you know that. If you study history, you have good ideas about how to be different in the future. What's that quote? Does anyone have it? Is anyone on here? There's a quote about know your history, change the future. There's something about that. I think Katie Brink was a history major. Maybe she knows. Maybe she's not on. I don't know. But it's the same principle. When you do a self-reflection, you can change your future 100%, hands down, done. There is no questions about this. It works. It's real. Yes. Okay. You see the power of your own creative power. You see how resourceful you can be. It's just awesome. I could beat this forever, forever, ever, 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 ever. So rewatch this video, listen to the specific questions, get clear on what to do. And I would love to hear your reflections. I'm loving that, Missy put some stuff in this. Latia's put some stuff in here. Like, really share some of your reflections with us in the Elevated Mother Collective in this group. Oh, I did my reflection that Robin said, and this is what happened. I would love to see this power in your life. I know that it will shift your life. I know it, hands down. It's going to be the best year ever because you will no longer be in the cycle. It breaks the cycle. You can't be in that cycle anymore when you are doing regular, good reflection. Okay? Are we good? Okay. Have an awesome New Year's weekend. Do your reflection. P.S. If you're, watching this recording, you can get off now because I'm going to talk about something that's just right now. But January 1st, we're changing our pricing in the program. It's going up $1,000. So if you want it for current pricing, you get to message me or Sheree or Missy or Heather and say so. Be like, I would like current pricing. Okay. And that's going for all of our programs. So if you're in EMX and you're looking at moving into solid ground, you get to message us to talk about that. And if you are looking at joining the program, you're like, well, I don't want to start like right today. That's okay. you can get into the program and we can shift your start date to January 8th or whatever you want. That's okay. We are here. We are moms that created a group for moms. We get flexibility. Well, okay, we can't do the splits, but you know what I'm talking about, okay? We get flexibility. But if you want to join the program for the current pricing, this is your absolute last chance ever to have this price. So let us know if you're ready. And if you want to let us know in the comments, if you're watching this over the next couple of days, put ready in the chat and we will be monitoring that and making sure that everybody that wants this pricing gets it before January 1st. All right. Awesome weekend, everybody. See you later.